Good evening. Hundreds of new carriages with room for thousands of extra passengers. That's the promise to rail users in our region. But it's the end of the line for the current operator, London Midland, which lost out to a rival for the franchise. West Midlands Trains Limited take over in December with a £1 billion investment plan signed off by the government. But it's the 1.5 million passengers who travel on the network every week who are waiting to be impressed. Sarah Bishop reports.
I don't mind who runs it. All I want is a train service that runs on time.
Well, let's hope there's an improvement. Can't be any worse.
After 10 years, it's the end of the line for London Midland. And it's not without some relief from their passengers who've long complained of overcrowding, cancellations and far too many of these.
We are sorry that the 14:37 service to Lichfield Trent Valley is delayed.
The Transport Minister came to New Street to say just how much confidence he has in the new operators, West Midlands Trains, who are owned by the Dutch firm Abellio.
People have been saying to us, you want more space and longer trains. This is a franchise with a £1 billion investment that's going to deliver you more space and longer trains and new trains and extra carriages.
So of the £1 billion investment, £700 million is going into buying new trains and refurbishing the existing fleet. Abellio say there'll be 400 new carriages by 2021 and 20,000 extra rush hour seats in Birmingham. £70 million will be spent on new and existing depots to improve reliability. And £60 million is to be invested in stations. Feasibility studies are already underway for improvements at Birmingham Snow Hill, Worcester Foregate Street and Selly Oak. But one of West Midlands Rail's most exciting proposals is this, the old Camp Hill line. It runs from here in Kings Norton in the south of the city right up to Kings Heath and Curzon Street in the city centre. Closed in 1941 as a wartime economy, for decades it's only been open to freight trains. But the new operator wants it open to passengers by December 2019. Which could mean a new station for Moseley. It's the first time a rail franchise has been won with the backing of Japanese investment in the UK. Abellio say they're excited about drawing on their expertise with trains.
I've always looked to Japanese railways as a sort of gold standard. And yeah, it's quite an exciting proposition to be able to bring some of that expertise to passengers in the West Midlands.
Independent watchdogs say on the surface it's all very positive.
There's quite a lot of good stuff in here. It's about delivering it now. I mean, particularly about more seats in the peak hours. Also, more flexible tickets for people who don't work 9 to 5, 5 days a week, so better deals.
But passengers are reserving their judgment. Sarah Bishop, BBC Midlands Today in Birmingham.
Well, today's franchise was declared as an important step in restoring the West Midlands position as the UK's economic powerhouse. That's according to the Mayor of the West Midlands, Andy Street, who's approaching 100 days in office. And he joins me now. Good evening, Andy.
Good evening.
That's quite a bold claim. How can you be so confident that this is going to turn out well for rail passengers? You can understand their scepticism.
Well, I think you've heard the commitments, both from the Secretary of State, indeed also from the independent assessor, £1 billion of investment, 400 extra carriages, 20,000 extra seats into Birmingham every rush hour. I know it's got to be delivered, but the franchisee has signed that deal, and we in the West Midlands and Transport for the West Midlands will be holding them account to deliver that. OK, let's stick with the transport theme. You'll be well aware that not everybody uses the trains. Many are going onto the roads rather than the rail. You'll also be very aware that people are really angry about roadworks on the M5 right now and calls for a look at changing some of the lane closures. Is that something you'll be looking at? Well, what we've done, actually just last week, we've appointed a new director for Transport for the West Midlands, whose specific job it is to look at how we are managing what we call the resilience, how well the network performs when big changes are being made, particularly around the planning of the HS2 roadworks that have come with that. But just on the M5 specifically, would that person have the power to say, change the lane closures, which are frustrating an awful lot of commuters? Not on their own, but what we've also agreed with the DfT is a body that involves the Transport Department, HS2, Highways England and ourselves to actually look at how all this is coordinated. So yes, we've now got an access to be able to say to them, this is not working, let's review this. Now, you are very keen on the reputation of Birmingham and the wider West Midlands globally, aren't you? I know You've just had a trip to Canada. Yep. And the image is really, really important to you. But increasingly, that image of Birmingham
is all about rubbish and bins piling up. And as we'll hear in a moment, that's causing a huge amount of frustration.
Just concerned about rats. I mean, I have seen a couple of rats and the foxes, and you get the cats ripping the bags open. There's actually maggots in some of the bags, because I know that by moving them myself. And it's just disgusting, really.
So you'll be well aware of people's frustration that this strike has been going on for well over a month now. What can you do to help to resolve that?
I think the honest answer there is it's a city council issue, and the people who are running the city council must be responsible for that.
So should they be doing more to resolve it?
I believe they should be bringing it to a conclusion, absolutely, definitely. And I'm well aware that it's causing incredible pain for residents of the city, but we do have to be really clear who is responsible for what. And if I start getting involved in things that are other people's responsibility, that is not going to help.
But I think there'll be an awful lot of people watching this evening that will be saying, as the mayor for the West Midlands, many people would have elected you, they want you to intervene. They want someone to sort it out, because it seems that the council and the unions aren't.
That's not I don't think that's right, actually. I think they need to know who is responsible for what. So you've asked me previous questions about transport for the West Midlands, which I am responsible for, and I can be held accountable for that. Equally, they have to say who is accountable for the refuge collections in Birmingham, and they hold those people accountable for that.
Do you see how some people might see that as a cop-out?
No, I don't actually. I think it's really, really straightforward that different people are responsible for different things.
Now, you held a Brexit summit today, didn't you, talking to some of the region's business leaders. Well, we asked them what they think of you.
Oh, really? OK.
There's a lot of interesting things in the pipeline at the moment. Commonwealth Games bid, Coventry City Culture bid, for instance. It'd be great to see Andy at the forefront of helping make those things happen.
He seems to have made lots of announcements which look exciting for the future. Obviously, as yet, many of those haven't come into reality. I'm keen to see that work, particularly around the growth of making sure we've got less problems on the road infrastructure and rail infrastructure, that we actually get to places on time.
The big uncertainty that we're all facing, all sectors, but particularly higher education, is how Brexit will play out. It's important for student recruitment, it's important for staff, it's important for funding.
Well, I think what that illustrates is the number of areas people expect you to deal with, bins aside. Do you actually have the powers to change things, though?
So some areas we have direct powers. We've talked about some of those, transport. And then the other thing I think that clip illustrates is actually there's a real responsibility for representing the region in Britain and around the world. And that's not a formal power, but I do think it's something I've stepped into pretty well. So if we look at the bid for Channel 4 to be based here, I led the cross-regional team putting that case to the board of Channel 4. And then also, if you think what the other purpose of this morning was, to put issues that really matter to West Midlands businesses, universities, to government ministers, yes, you have the power to open that door as well.
And just very briefly, if you would, one of your big election pledges, homelessness. Have you managed to reduce that so far in your 100 days?
No, and that's an honest answer, but what we absolutely have done is exactly what I said I would do. We have set up a task force of all the players. It's the first time that all the players, charities, councils, government departments, have all come together, and we are working on the causes of this, and that's the right way to find a long-term solution.
Andy Street, thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
West Midlands